Energy. We all know what it is, and we all have a limited amount unless we get on a bus in life that offers additional energy. The definition of energy is the strength and vitality necessary for sustained physical or mental activity. Sounds important. And that's because energy is important, really important. It's important because we become the best version of ourselves. In order to do that, we need to get the maximum amount of energy available to us, and we need to deploy that energy in the best way, the most beneficial way. We'll get back to energy in a moment. There are two roads that we can all choose to take in life. We can choose the road that most people choose. It's the road most traveled. In fact, there's a traffic jam filled with people on this road. The road most traveled does not lead to best. It leads to less than best. This road is filled with complacency, the enemy of best, and it's filled with complainers, and complaining is the arch enemy of best. The many who travel this road, they're complacent. They do the same thing over and over again, and they become frustrated because their life, it's not getting better. They hope to get better and they want to get better, but they're not intentional about getting better. Because they're not getting better, they complain because they're stuck in traffic. They do not use their energy then working to get better. They use their energy wasting it, complaining about what's not happening in their life. The good news, they can choose to exit this road and get on the other road, the road less traveled. The road less traveled has much less traffic. Those on the road less traveled, they live every day with intention to get better in every area of their life. In their family and relationship life, in their health and fitness life, in their personal finance. And as a result of that, they have more fun. And they also have a heart for the community to give back. And finally, because they're intentional, their professional life, well, it's just better. See, they intentionally plan their preferred destinations for all areas of their life, and they're getting better in all areas of their life, and they're making progress. And so they're using their energy efficiently. And because they're on the road to best, they have a lot less to complain about. Both roads require all of our energy. One leads to less, and the other, it leads to best. The key to life is to get on board a bus that's going down the road less traveled, the destination best. That's where Supreme Lending's bus is heading, to destination best. And today, we're offering you a ticket to get on our bus. Simply put, everyone involved at Supreme wants to go there, and we want you to join us. Best is what all of us want for our lives. Unfortunately, most are not getting what all of us want. The good news is, it's not where you are today that matters most in life, it's where you're going. We built the Personal and Professional Best program to inspire our associates to become the best version of themselves. And that journey to best, it continues today. Our program's guest today, he chose the wrong road, the road that most travel once upon a time in his life. He was struggling personally at home, and he was struggling professionally. Fortunately for his family and for all of us here today, he took the exit ramp. He got out of the traffic jam and he chose the road less traveled. He found new energy and he has wasted none. Since he's traveled the road to best, he's authored 22 books and sold 4 million copies. Several of his books, including The Energy Bus, has become bestsellers. He also makes keynote speeches to college and professional sports teams, and he speaks to Fortune 500 business teams all over the country. Today, he is here to encourage you to get on the energy bus and to get on the road to destination best. Jon Gordon, welcome to Personal and Professional Best.
Pat, great to be with you.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. Hey, listen, so I know you're intentionally pursuing your best in life right now. And listen, you've written 22 books, 4.5 million copies sold. You're doing pretty well by most people's estimations. But you know what I know is that those that are their best, that they've had to overcome adversity to get where they are. So why don't you do this? Why don't you tell our audience your story?
Well, I'm always about striving to be my best because I know there were times in my life when I wasn't my best. There's a lot I had to overcome on my journey. I was very negative and miserable in many ways in my 20s and 30s. People think I'm Mr. Positive because I write these positive books, but I really had to become a more positive person. I struggled with negativity, so much so that my wife threatened to leave me when I was 30 years old. She said, I love you, but I'm not going to spend my life with someone who makes me so miserable. And so I agreed to change. And I began this journey of working to become a more positive person. It was during the emerging field of positive psychology. And so I was researching ways that I could be more positive. And I found that I could take these thank you walks where the research shows that you can't be stressed and thankful at the same time. And so by walking and practicing gratitude, I was flooding my brain and body with these positive emotions that would uplift me rather than the stress hormones that would slowly drain and kill me. And by doing those each day, it was incredible how it started to change me. And then I started to pray during these walks as well. And that started to change me. And so my life began to change when I started to speak different things into my life, positive things. I started to say, I trust that great things are happening today. I expect and accept all of the great people and organizations that want to work with me. I realized I wanted to start writing and speaking, and that was my calling. I asked, what am I born to do? And writing and speaking came to me. I mean, I did not expect this. It just came to me when I asked that question. So I said, all right, I'm going to start this. I started with a newsletter, a weekly positive tip where I would share the things that I was doing to help others. I had five subscribers to my newsletter: my mother, my brother, my best friend from college. They would get in the newsletter whether they liked it or not. Like, they didn't have a choice. And over time, people started to get more and more into it. People started to refer to other people, and the audience started to grow. I got a book deal out of the newsletter. Someone read my writings and said, oh, you should do a book. And so we published a first book and then another book. And, you know, they honestly didn't do great. And so I wasn't sure about my future in that world. I got on the Today Show, and yet even though I got on the Today Show, they told me my career was going to take off, but that didn't happen. And so I was really crumbling in a lot of ways. I had sold my restaurants. I got involved in the restaurant business, Moe's Southwest Grill franchise that started in Atlanta. I brought it to
Welcome to Moe's.
Welcome to Moe's. We were the 5th Moe's in the entire country, the first Moe's in Florida, and literally second mortgaged our home, $20,000 in credit cards to open up this first Moe's that we had. And so I was involved in the restaurant business, but the goal was to hopefully, you know, do the restaurants that would allow me then the financial freedom to then start writing and speaking. And so that was like how it all came and tied together. So I sold the Moe's though, knowing, okay, I'm going to focus on writing and speaking now. I'm going to go after this and this dream. And so I sell the Moe's, and now no money's coming in. I'm not doing well with writing and speaking. My wife was like, hey, what's going on? It was a really scary time. And I'm taking a walk and I'm praying. And finally, in that moment, it was one of the most special moments of my life. The energy bus came to me. Literally, it came to me like a download. And I had a vision of this story that I was going to write. I literally ran home to my house. I had an office upstairs. And I started to write this book. And I never wrote a story before. I never wrote a fable before. But I just started to write this story of the energy bus about a guy named George who's miserable and negative and has to overcome his negativity. And he meets a bus driver named Joy. Initially, the bus driver was going to be a male bus driver because I actually met a bus driver in Denver that was very encouraging, very inspiring. And it was going to be based on this guy as the bus driver. And as I started to write it, it came to me like, no, it's a woman bus driver. Her name is Joy. And she has this incredible spirit about her. And she's the wise, sage woman. And she's full of love and just has an incredible love for the people around her. And she's very wise. And she is the one who teaches the lessons. So I'm like, okay, that's what I'll write. And so next thing you know, I'm writing this book. I wrote it in 3.5 weeks. And after that, rejected by over 30 publishers. But then finally John Wilder and Sons agreed to publish the book. And so I was so excited. It was coming out. I asked a friend, what should I do? He said, pray. I prayed for it to be a bestseller. It came out. It was a bestseller in Korea. I learned you have to be specific with your prayers. It was like this huge hit in South Korea, not North Korea, but South Korea. It was huge. And not one bookstore in the United States would carry the book. So I decided to go on a 28-city tour, paid for it myself. Publisher wouldn't even pay for it. Didn't have a ton of money. But I went from city to city, sharing the message in the book. We had 5 people in one city, 10 people in another, 20 in another. The most people we had were 100 people in Des Moines, Iowa. They thought Jeff Gordon was coming. That's why they showed up. I didn't know what the future held. I didn't know. I got home and didn't know what the future held, but I knew that I had this vision. And here was the vision: to encourage and inspire millions of people, one person at a time. And I know you help people be their best. And I just want to say this. I know you help people be their best. And so many of us have a dream. We have a vision of what we want to accomplish. And I just want people to know that I had this vision and I had this dream, and I didn't know if it was going to happen, but I just knew I had to show up every day to be my best every day, to live the vision, to share the message, and to do this work. And that is my story. And that's what led me to do all these other books and this work now. And so I'm just so thankful that people read the books, but it really started with a vision, an idea, and honestly a gift from God of the words I was meant to write.
You know, I think the gift, it seems to me, the gift was really that you began to think about how you could impact mankind and make a difference in other people's lives, right? Because whether you're running a Moe's or whether you're writing, it's our purpose and what are we trying to do every single day. And here at Supreme, what we're trying to do is really lift people up so that they can discover the best version of themselves, personal and professional best. Hey, listen, were you George before you became Jon?
I was definitely George. George was based on
Tell
me.
us about George, because a number of people have read your book in the audience. I hope the rest will read it when we're done, but tell us about George.
George is this guy who was miserable and negative. His team at work is in disarray. He has problems at home, and he wakes up Monday morning to a flat tire. So he is just like fed up with life. And as I said, he was easy to write about because he was based on me and my own personal struggles with negativity and adversity. He has this important meeting to get to, so he walks inside. He asks his wife to take him to work, and she won't. That was also based on personal experience. So now he has to take the bus to work. And he gets on the bus and he meets Joy, the bus driver. She calls him Sugar, and she and a cast of characters teach him the 10 rules for the ride of his life that not only help him become a more positive person, but a better father, a better husband. And it's about getting his team on the bus and moving in the right direction with a shared vision, focus, and purpose. And it's about the fact that every one of us will have to overcome negativity, adversity, and challenges to ultimately define ourselves and our team's success. So you bet I was George. He was based on me, and I was miserable and negative like George, and I wanted to be more positive the way George wanted to be more positive. And thankfully, Joy came into his life. And for me, I had a lot of great people who came into my life, including my wife, who was probably the biggest positive influence in my life.
I love it. You know, there's a lot of Georges in the audience today and Georgettes, and there's also a lot of Joys. And what we need to do is we need to know that if we are George today in the audience and or Georgette, the good news is it's not where we are that matters, it's where we're going in life. And the balance of us need to, Jon, Pat, the rest of us, we need to be joys in the lives of others. And when we cross paths with those people like George, usually we don't want to spend a lot of time with them because, well, they drain us of energy, right? But we need to stop and think about investing in those people because their transformation could be absolutely impactful for everyone in their life, right? There's their kids and their wives and all those people that they cross paths with. So what inspired your transformation is just you want to walk, you want a journey, you saying prayers. Was there a person that was involved that poured into you like Joy did, George?
Well, for me, it was my wife honestly giving me that ultimatum saying, I love you, but if you don't change, we're over. So that in itself was a huge impetus to change. I wanted to stay married to my wife. And so I had to change. I didn't have a choice. And so I also didn't like who I had become. I had allowed the fear and the stress to get the best of me. And when you're talking about the Georges and Georgettes out there, a lot of us are just fearful. We're stressed about what's going on in life. We're allowing the situation to affect us and define us. And if you're not okay right now, it's okay to not be okay. We're all going through a very challenging time. We're all on a journey, as you said. And what I've learned and what I've become is, what I show is that every one of us can become more positive. We can become the best, as you would say, version of ourselves. We can actually improve and we can grow and we can change for the better. So I root for people to change because I know that I changed. And if I could change, I know that a lot of people can change. The best and the greatest reward for me is when I hear from people, I get emails all the time. Read your book, The Energy Bus, read your book, The Carpenter, read Training Camp, read your other books, and they're making me a better person. And you know what? I was negative and now I'm positive. I've had several where even people wanted to give up their lives and have chosen to live and now have turned their lives around. And to me, that's what it's all about. Ironically, the best self-growth strategy of all is to help others grow. You nailed it earlier when you said, you know what, you decided to make it about others. The minute I said, I want to help others get better, I want to improve the lives of others, I want to be used for a greater purpose. I was so narcissistic years ago, and it was why I was so miserable and so negative, because I was so in my stuff. And once I made it about others and making people better around me, that's when I got better. When you help others improve, you improve. When you help others grow, you grow. And that's what I love about what you're doing at Supreme Lending. I mean, you are helping people grow. You're helping people improve. You care about your realtors. You care about your team. You care about your community. And you put so much out there. And then it comes back to you because you just give so much. And I think that you always find yourself growing when you do that. So yes, in many ways, it was my wife. And then ultimately this guy named Erwin McManus, who's a pastor, and he wrote a lot of great books and he's an incredible human being. So fun. I didn't even know him. I listened to his sermons and they spoke to me. And on these talks, he talked about like why I follow Jesus, and listening to his sermons really ignited me and my faith. And I just have to say, like, when I became a person of faith, that's when everything changed. And it's not something where, you know, I feel like my religion's better than other people, or I'm all about love. And I believe that it's about, Jesus is not a club you join. He's the love you invite into your heart. And so once I accepted that love into my heart, it changed me from the inside out. It made me want to love others more. And so Erwin was a huge influence in my life in that way. And that's why the main character in my book, The Garden, is named Mr. Erwin based on him.
I love that. And I love the fact that you talked about your wife, because my wife, Lisa, has done exactly the same thing for me. I'm 36 years married now. So grateful for her. And I have two people in my life. I have the source, my dad, and I have the resource, Dr. Ike Reichert, who's a pastor in my life, who's been an encouragement. What you said, I just want to stop for a minute about Jesus. If you're not a believer, that's okay. We can look up to other people, and the character of Jesus was always about serving others before self, and about making sacrifice, and about leaving people better, making people better. And you're living that out because that's your faith life, as it is mine. But even if you didn't believe in Jesus, if you make it about everyone else instead of about you, you'll unlock the best version of you. Okay, you talk about energy vampires, which I love that concept in the book. What is an energy vampire?
It's someone who will suck the life right out of you. And they're in our teams, they're in our neighborhoods, they're in our families. You have to see them in Thanksgiving sometimes. And they're just really negative and they suck the life out of you. Now, again, you said it earlier. The first step when you deal with an energy vampire is to love them. Try to transform them. Try to invest in them. Try to bring them to the light, right?
Unless they have really long teeth.
Try to shine a light on them. But we know with our teams that one person can't make a team, but one person could break a team. And so we have to be really careful about when we're working with energy vampires that we don't allow them to sabotage our team, our mission, and us, because we have a mission. We have goals. We have dreams. We want to be our best. And we often allow the negative people to affect us. We allow them to bring us down. Gandhi said, "I will not let anyone walk through my mind with their dirty feet." Wow. And neither should we. So a number of years ago, I was speaking to the University of Georgia. Mark Richt was the head coach. I'm speaking to the team. They all read the energy bus. After my talk, they lost the first two games. I thought I ruined them. I sent Coach a text. "Coach, I still believe in you all." He sent me a text back. "John, the guys are staying positive. They're still on the bus. In years past, we've allowed energy vampires to sabotage our team, but not this year. This year, we won't allow it." In their big meeting room, they put a huge picture of an energy vampire on the wall. And anytime one of the players was being a vampire, they took their picture from the media guide and they put it on the wall. No one wanted to be on the wall. Now, I'm not saying you should do this in your offices, right? I can see it now. Employee of the month, vampire of the month. But I am saying they went on to win the next 10 games in a row, making it to the SEC championship game. And I learned from that team and from so many other teams I've worked with that a team that stays positive together wins together. So when dealing with energy vampire, your positive energy has to be greater than all their negativity. Your certainty, your belief must be greater than all the doubt. And make sure you're loving those energy vampires. Make sure you're bringing them into the fold. If they won't change, no matter what you do, no matter how much love you share, at that point, you're doing all you can, they're sabotaging the team, then you may have to let that person off the bus. We don't want to do that. It's not that we don't care about them. It's because we care about everybody else. But just know, love them.
Yeah, we try to focus on the why, right? Why are you an energy vampire? And is there something we can do to help? In our lives, whether it's a family or otherwise. And generally speaking, someone's been hurt and they've yet to forgive the pain so that they can move on with themselves. And they're dragging the pain and they're just sharing it with everybody in their life. But it's really important that we do lean in like Joy did. But then at some point, to your point, you can only spend so much time there. We have on the back of our wall here at our main facility, it's 30 foot long, and it says, complaining is the arch enemy of best. And one of the things that I always recognize when I get around folks like yourself that have really kind of had challenged backgrounds, they faced adversity, then they became Jon Gordon, right? And extraordinarily successful. They just don't spend a lot of time complaining because it's a waste of energy and we could use all of our energy towards getting better. So our program, to the point about getting better, it's all about becoming our personal and professional best. What are you focusing on doing this year, personally and professionally, to get better?
Well, the best advice I ever heard is from Dr. James Gills, the only person on the planet to complete 6 double Ironman triathlons. And the last time he did, he was 59 years old. And that means an Ironman, a day later to another one, 59. I asked him how he did it. He said this: I've learned to talk to myself instead of listen to myself. He said, if I listen to myself, I hear all the fear, the negativity, the doubt, and all the complaints. But if I talk to myself, I can feed myself with the words and the encouragement that I need to keep on moving forward. So what I'm doing to get better every day is I'm talking to myself. I'm encouraging myself. I'm encouraging others. When you encourage, it means to put courage into. So I'm putting courage into others. I'm putting courage into myself each day to take on all the challenges, all the negativity that's happening in the world. There is so much negativity right now. We know it. There's so much fear. There's so much anxiety. And the word anxious, by the way, means divided at its Greek root word. And so we feel divided in so many ways. And so I'm trying to unite. I'm trying to encourage. And for me to be my best, I'm focusing on winning today, not worrying about tomorrow, but winning today. I was talking to Chad Wright. He's a Navy SEAL. I had him on my podcast. And he said, John, a lot of guys don't make it through Hell Week, trying to be a Navy SEAL. They don't make it through Hell Week because they're longing for it to be over. They're dreaming for it to end. The ones who make it just say, I want to make it to breakfast, and then midday, and then the evening, and breakfast again. And right then and there, I knew that that was the key for me to succeed during this time. So I'm getting better every day by winning today. What does that mean, win today? It means I get better myself every day. I improve every day. I grow. It means I stay positive. I don't allow negativity to set in. I feed myself with positivity so I can feed others. I wake up in the morning. I choose to rise and shine instead of rise and whine. And I don't mean rise in W-I-N-E, right? I'm rising and shining so I can shine on others. And that's what I'm focusing on. And it means that I'm looking to make others better every day. I'm focusing on what matters most. And that's relationships. That's investing in relationships, because we can't control all that's happening in the world, but we can focus on ourselves, our attitude, our actions, and our efforts to be a great teammate and to develop great relationships and do that. And so that's what I'm doing every day. It's very simple, right? It's not rocket science, but every day you do these things each day. And I have found so much joy, so much faith, so much optimism, so many great relationships that have happened during this time because I have chosen this attitude. Now people say, well, John, that's easier for you. You have these books, you're successful with this. You hear from people like that. I know they say that, but let me tell you this. The people that say that and they're working paycheck to paycheck, I get it because I was there and I was almost bankrupt. And my father left when I was a year old, my biological father. My mom was a working mom in the 70s supporting her kids. I grew up having to work, provide for myself. My family never made more than $30,000. I've almost been bankrupt. I almost lost my house. I've been in those moments. I lost my job during the dot-com crash. And so I know what it's like. And so I think this way, not because I have success, because I've thought that way when I was going through the biggest challenges of my life. It led me to success. And so the way you think right now will lead to the success that you want in the future. What you believe determines what you will create.
I love that. I grew up in South Florida. I played at Miami-Dade Community College baseball. It was an amazing school to play at. And on the back of the dugout, it said, what the mind believes, the body achieves. And talking to ourselves, I think, it's not foolish to do. It's a reminder that God made us and He made us to be our best. And all we have to do is just get on the journey and decide that we're going to be intentional about being our best. Along the way, we're going to find some adversity. You have it out in front of you, and I'll have it out in front of me. But we've learned that we can conquer it. Just look behind us, right? So one thing I want to mention to you, that you can join our anthem this year that we created about the divided times that we live in, and that is that we're for everybody. We're not for everything, but we're still for everybody. And I think if we can all just own and embrace that, because listen, I've been married 36 years to Lisa, and we are for each other. She loves Mexican food, me not so much, right? But I'm still for her. And I think we have to, rather than let what is a disagreement that we have with somebody else be a divider, we just have to have it as we're just different people, and we're going to think about things differently, but we still need to be for each other. All right.
And you're most powerful when you're talking about what you're for rather than what you're against. So
I love that. That's right.
Be powerful and talk about what you're for and not what you're against. And at the same time, I love what you just said, like, we're for everyone. We could agree to disagree and we can still love each other. My brother and I disagree on things, but we still love each other. My wife and I disagree, we still love each other. I have friends that we disagree on various issues, but we still love each other. Now disagreement shouldn't mean hate. That's what it's become. Oh, you disagree with me, you must hate me. No, I disagree with you, but I can still love you.
Hey, on the topic of disagreements, I just want to share with the audience that when we were preparing, first of all, we could hang out forever because you're just one of those guys, my kind of guy, just positive all the time. But I found out something about Jon where I'm for Jon still, okay? Just not for everything. Because as he was talking to Clemson University's football team, okay, I told Mr. Jon that I'm kind of an Alabama fan, right? And so what he did to us, okay, he created a massive amount of pain for me like 4 years ago. Tell us your story about your involvement with Clemson and with Dabo Swinney, if you would.
Pat, knowing that you're an Alabama fan, it was really good talking to you. I'll see you later. No,
for you.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm still for you. So a number of years ago, Clemson reached out. I've been working with Clemson now since 2011. And so I'm a huge Clemson fan because I've worked with them from the very beginning. I've seen the rise of that program. I've seen Dabo's leadership transform that team, that organization. I've seen positive leadership in action. Positivity, optimism, belief on display, vision, love, and accountability. So yeah, I love Clemson, love the program. Alabama, hey, you can't argue with their success, the way they do things. If Alabama's playing, and I may even root for them once in a while. But as you told me in our exchange that when you were talking to Clemson, there's always in the world, there's good and there's evil, right? Well, yeah. I always say life is a battle of good versus evil if you really look at it. And you got Black Panther, good versus evil. You got Superman, good versus evil. Harry Potter, good versus evil. All those stories, those movies, every epic story is good versus evil. And it's all about the battle we're facing. And so it resonates so much in our soul because that's the battle. And I say it's just like Clemson, Alabama, good versus evil. But I'm just kidding, Alabama. I'm just kidding, Alabama
Well, listen,
fans.
the
Just
good
kidding.
news is you still have a ton of fans here today because most of our fans are Georgia fans and most of our fans are Florida fans. So we're good, okay? Clemson and Bama, everyone's like, I don't know why they're talking about those two guys. But you know what we're talking about? We're talking about two organizations that get the energy bus, right? Dabo and Nick, those leadership, those organizations, you get on that bus at Clemson, you get on that bus at Alabama, and it is contagious because the accountability to be a part of pursuing your best, there's no way around it. Dabo does it in his loving, generous, funny, Southern way, and Nick does it, well, differently.
Differently, and you know what? Georgia does it. Georgia's building
Oh,
a great
absolutely.
culture as
Amazing.
well. So you have to really admire what they're building. And I wrote a book, The Coffee Bean, with a guy Damon West, and they're actually using the coffee bean as part of their program. So you could see how these great coaches think. But you nailed it, because Nick Saban is all about no energy vampires allowed. I heard he has a sign up that says no energy vampires. Dabo is all about love your passengers, and they both take parts of the energy bus and use it differently.
Yeah, they do. Hey, so listen, let me ask you this. If we have a George or Georgette that's in the audience today, and look, no judgment to anyone, okay? Because I had a broken period in my life, several of them, right? And collected myself and got around positive people and got my faith life right. And so now I am just passionate and pursuing being best. So if you're George or Georgette out there today, please know we love on you and we're loving on you right now. But what I want you to tell us, John, what should people do if they're George or Georgette out there today?
Yeah, I root for those people, and I'm here for those people, and I love those people. So I'm glad this is about the love that we want to share and the difference we want to make. And as I said earlier, it's okay to not be okay if you're going through a tough time. You just don't want to stay there. And you don't want to be brought down the spiral staircase of despair and depression. You want to lift yourself up. You want to feed yourself every day with positive things and positive people and positive messages. I don't want to be self-promotional, but I think if you read The Energy Bus, you will really benefit from that book, and you'll find a joy. You'll find the kind of energy that will speak to you and help you on your journey. I also have a ton of free resources at jongordon.com, JON Gordon.com. So just go to my website, and we have a free 7-step action plan that you can take to start being more positive. And then we have a daily positive quote of the day. We share out a positive message every day on dailypositive.com. And we're all big on that in terms of just trying to encourage people. Like, I know it's tough. I know it's tough. I was an energy vampire. I was George. And so we're all trying to be more positive. And so I love helping people along the way. And if people reach out, I'm there for them.
Awesome. Well, listen, thank you for being here with us today. And it wasn't self-promotion, because the Energy Bus, I read it a number of years ago. Every new person that starts at Supreme, they get 2 books. They get the Energy Bus, Jon Gordon, and they get Excellence Wins from Horst Schulze, our good friend who works teaching us about customer service and the impact that that has on the life. So, John, we are now counting you as a passenger on the Supreme Lending Energy Bus. We're grateful that you are with us today, and we'll look forward to working together in the future and making sure that we can bring as many Georges and Georgettes there with us.
I'm excited about the journey. Thanks for having me for the ride. And I want to encourage everyone to get on the Supreme Lending Energy Bus, because it's going to be a great ride for the future.
I love it. Thank you so much.
I'm Lisa Spencer. I grew up in a real estate family. I had a successful real estate career for 12 years, and then I stepped into leadership at Keller Williams, a career that I loved. And I've joined the Supreme Bus because of their dedication to inspiration, education, and service.
Hey gang, my name's Jason Bonds. I'm with Keller Williams Realty Atlanta Partners, and I'm on the Supreme Lending bus. I've been with them for years, and the reason I'm on the Supreme Lending bus is because they always do what they say they're gonna do, and they've got the best loan officers in the field.
Hi, my name is Terrell Patton, and I am the team leader of the Keller Williams Perimeter East Market Center located in Tucker, Georgia. And I got on the Supreme Lending bus about 7 years ago. And the thing that I love the most about Supreme Lending and their loan officer, they are very personable and they will get the job done.
Hey, my name is John Castelli. I'm the broker owner of Castelli Real Estate. Got about 130 agents, and we're so excited to be on the Supreme Lending bus. We've been on this bus for about 4 more years, and it's all about Sandra Dane. And I have 4 words: she gets it closed. Thank you so much. Stay on the bus.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Nielsen. I'm the operating partner of the Atlanta Cherokee office in beautiful Woodstock, Georgia. I got on the Supreme bus 9 years ago, and it's been a phenomenal ride. We love Supreme because their loan officers are part of our family, and they have always treated our agents with the utmost respect. They close on time. They have transformed our lives and really become part of our office.
Hi, I'm Ty Anderson. I was a 4-time Grammy-winning award artist with the band Third Day, but I got on the Supreme bus 4 years ago. Why? Well, it's going to Destination Best, but I'm here to help you market like a rock star.
Hey, I'm Jean Rawls, and I'm the operating partner of the Rawls Group at Keller Williams Realty, and I would like to share with all of you the long-standing relationship that I've had with Supreme Mortgage for over 20 years. I can't tell you all what an honor and pleasure it has been to be in business, to know that Supreme stands by each of our agents' side in every transaction they're involved with the top-of-the-line customer service and supreme care. I can't tell.
Hi, I'm Dory Hicks, team leader at Keller Williams Peachtree Road, and I've been on the Supreme bus for 1.5 years. We were so happy to welcome Supreme to Keller Williams Peachtree Road in March of 2019, and I always encourage all of my realtors to just start with Supreme because they close on time, fund on time, every time.
Hello everyone, I'm Horst Schulze. I'm co-founder of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel Company and founder of Capella Hotel Company. I am truly excited to be on the bus with Supreme Lending because I believe in excellence just like they do, particularly excellence in caring for people and service.
Wow, Jon Gordon is amazing. I encourage all of you to read The Energy Bus, and then I encourage you to get on the road less traveled. Start with Supreme. Go to supremebest.com and enter Best GPS. Don't wait until January 1st to create your life plan. Do it today. Get on the Supreme Lending bus. We're going to Destination Best. While you're there creating your personal detailed life plan, you can check out the many other programs that we offer to inspire you, to educate you, and to serve you and our customers. Finally, 2020 has been a year filled with adversity, coronavirus, and the unique impact it's had on all of our lives. The unrest, a reminder that we still have work to do as a country to get better. And, well, we have an election coming up that will likely create additional adversity. While adversity seems to be our enemy, I believe the opposite is true. I believe God blesses us with adversity. I believe it serves as a reminder to be more grateful daily for what's good in our lives. I believe it challenges us to reflect and make changes that make us better. Don't get me wrong, I don't get on my knees and pray for adversity. I don't. But I know the source, and I know God is always for us. And therefore, I believe that adversity is intended to be the birthplace of something better if we accept it and use all of our energy to get better. Or we can complain about it. I'm not. I'm choosing to get better. I'm getting better as a husband and as a father. I'm driving the Supreme bus, and you know where we're going. And finally, I'm asking myself, how can I help the best country on the planet, which is certainly not perfect? What can I do to help make it better. With that in mind, I leave you with this. God is for everyone. He's not for everything, but He's still for everyone. And so I'm for everyone. I'm not for everything, but I'm still for everyone. Try it at home, in the workplace, in your neighborhood. If you do, together, we'll get the best. And who knows, we may bring our neighbors with us. Join us next month as our guest will be Gary Chapman, the author of The 5 Love Languages. Best is waiting. I'll meet you there.